Michigan International Speedway is known for breathtaking speed and wide-open competition. This 2-mile oval features a massive 73-foot wide racing surface and 18-degree banked corners, creating multiple racing grooves and some of the fastest lap times anywhere in motorsports. While Michigan isn't classified as a super speedway, the long straightaways and sweeping turns demand raw horsepower, precision, and bravery at both ends of the track. Once Indy cars thundered through the Irish hills at incredible speed, highlighted by Paul Tracy's legendary 234.94 mile-per-hour qualifying lap. Today, Michigan remains one of NASCAR's fastest venues, regularly vying with Daytona and Talladega, with Jeff Gordon's 206.558 mile-per-hour lap still standing as the NASCAR Cup Series track record. The winners list here reads like a Motorsports Hall of Fame. Richard Petty, David Pearson, Bobby and Davey Allison, Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson, alongside open-wheel legends like Andretti, Foyt, Unser, Mears, and Zanardi. For more than half a century, the world's best drivers have come to Michigan to test their skill, and the fans have followed in huge numbers. Tonight, a new chapter is written as the IROC Challenge Series takes on Michigan International Speedway. It's the Charity Motorsports 250, and it's coming your way next, live on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to MIS. Round 9 of the IROC Challenge Series. 125 laps the distance here makes up the Charity Motorsports 250. 80% fuel on board, 4 sets of tires available over the wall, no faster pairs, count them, 0 zip zilch. The pit road speed limit of 55 miles per hour and 3 attempts at a green-white-checkered finish if so necessary. Practice and qualifying wrapped up here at the Speedway. Warm-up session underway. Right now, Mike Koch, the fastest, 39.617, followed by Zach Millett, TJ Majors, the 93 is Slade Menish, and Steve Durbin, the top 5. Saw some action at the end of the race this past Saturday. Yes, that was a tape-delayed broadcast from last week from Darlington between Zach Millett and TJ Majors. Some of that appearing to have carried over from the previous week, so a little rivalry brewing between the 31 and the 6. See if we'll see more fireworks here tonight, so keep an eye on those two if they're around each other. About a minute and a half left in this warm-up session. There will not be much delay before we get into our starting grid and eventual race session. Again, 125 laps makes up the distance here tonight. Those of you with any interest in playoff hockey, specifically the Buffalo Sabres, right about an hour or so down the I-90 from me. Well, unfortunately, right now, losing 2-0 to the Boston Bruins. About 5 or so minutes left in the second period. No, 2 minutes left. With the Sabres on the power play. Upcoming schedule here, of course, the Lady in Black at Darlington was this past Saturday here at Track Limits. Now we're back live, 21st of April at Michigan Speedway. Next week we go to Charlotte, and then May the 5th, the All-Star Race. We will be broadcasting that here live at Track Limits. Just barely missing the cut as I head to Watkins Glen on the 6th. Then to Talladega, Bristol, Vegas, Phoenix Raceway, Pocono, and then Homestead to close out the season. Got William Luttrell and Colt Ansley in the chat already. Shady Acres, of course, back in there as well. Thanks for checking in, guys. Well, that'll do it for the warm-up. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position, with a lap time of 39.472 seconds, it's the 3 of Brian McCann, besting Zach Millett by 26 thousandths of a second. Row number 2, it's Christian Strader and John Cofield. Row 3 belongs to Steve Durbin and Jason Nilgis. Adam Benefiel and Carson Quapple roll off in the 4th row. Austin Beers and Chuck Sweeting in row 5. Starting 11th, it's Steve Luttrell from the PSRA Open ARCA Series and 4 Wide Motorsports League, just newly formed league, at least here at Track Limits on Monday nights, with Jesse Sperling to his right elbow in the number 12. 13th starter, it's the 56 of Kyle Terzak. Cameron Brownlow will start 14th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. back behind the wheel tonight in his number 8. Will start 15th with Mike Koch to the outside. 17th starter, it's Kyle White. Evan Vecchia rolls off 18th. Garrett Johnston, the 19th starter. 20th, James Conley. 21st, TJ Majors. Slade Benish will be 22nd. Chris Mefford will back in the 23rd position. Steven Steffen, 24th. 25th starter, it's Kyle Hardy. Brent Butler, 26th. Neil Quick, 27th. Kyle Pendergraph, 28th. Shane Huffman, 29th. Tim Schofield starts in the 30th spot. 31st belongs to Adam Pettit. Chris Harrison start 32nd. Todd Kleek, 33rd. Zachary Kleek, 34th. Chris Wally, 35th. Doug Wysocki, 36th. 37th is Devin Aker. Chris Quick is 38th. 39th is Josh Mears, and William Reams will start 40th. Drivers below the cut line, Marty Lindley, William Tyndall. Greg Bristol is actually the race admin, and Pete Ruzek. Your starting grid here from Michigan Speedway as the field rolls out of pit lane. 1 pace lap. We'll be racing here, no time flat. Race details in case you missed it. 125 laps the distance, 250 miles, 80% fuel on board, 4 sets of tires over the wall. No fast repairs, pit road speed 55 miles per hour, and 3 attempts in a green-white-checkered finish. Take a look at the track temp, though. 119 degrees Fahrenheit. Sun blazing down on the speedway here this afternoon, so it's going to be a little tricky to keep the handle on these race cars. Pace car rolls down into pit lane, ready to get this underway. McCann and Millett on the front row, a familiar sight from years gone by, and there it is. Green flag in the air. We're racing in the Irish Hills. Side by side, off turn number 2, inches apart, Millett and Brian McCann. Little side draft from Brian, a slight bit of contact to the driver's door of the 31. They barrel down into turn number 3. McCann still trying to hang on to that top spot, which he earned with the pole position. Millett, though, with a run to the outside off turn number 4. Back down to the line, Millett with just about 5/8 of a car length ahead will lead lap number 1 over Brian McCann, but Brian still bottom side of the racetrack. McCann gets clear of Millett. Zach now in the 2nd spot. Adam Benefiel runs 3rd, already up 4 spots for the 32. John Cofield 4th, Steve Durbin 5th. Cofield making moves here to the bottom of the racetrack on Adam Benefiel. Tell you, Benefiel has got his hands full, it seemed there, at least off turn number 4, is chasing that race car up the racetrack. On board with Brian McCann. Millett still right there, just inches off the back bumper. Gotta love it. Never gets old. Millett makes a look to the inside as they roll through turns 1 and 2. Not enough to get alongside, still in the tire tracks of Brian McCann. Top 3 all single file here, relatively unchanged. In fact, single file quite a ways back, just about the top 10. Kyle just running in the 9th position in behind Chuck Sweeting. Dealing with Austin Beers now, just took a peek to the inside. Beers has the 82 of Steve Luttrell up to the outside. A newcomer here to the IROC Challenge Series. Again, Steve runs Sunday nights with the PSRA, was the Open ARCA Series. It's now going to the trucks here in the very near future. I think we're going to roll in here in the month of June. Again, Luttrell ran the late model stock series last night with 4Wide Motorsports, also here on Track Limits Network. So Luttrell getting a whole bunch of TV time as of late. Meanwhile, Dale Jr. up to the 12th position. He's gained 3 spots from the drop of the green flag. Junior with a bit of a run, checks up there, doesn't want to use it too soon. Backs up the entry into turn number 3. Jesse Sperling there in tow of the 8. Saw Junior there exit the corner with a little bit more air on the nose. Didn't open the wheel up quite as early as the 82 of Luttrell did. Be careful though when you wash back up the track. It takes all that air off the nose. Could make the car real tight. Junior now switching it up. Luttrell now crosses over. Meanwhile, Mike Koch rolling up the backside here of Dale Earnhardt Jr. The big run down the backstretch into 3. Got clear at Jesse Sperling without a whole lot of effort. Mike working the top side here. Meanwhile, back up front, McCann continues to lead. It's Millett, Benefiel, and now Durbin to 4th. Cofield runs 5th. Durbin not sneaking up on anybody with that paint scheme. Could almost go deer hunting with that thing. Meanwhile, further back, Cofield in the 5th spot has lost that lead pack of 4 drivers. Followed in tow, Carson Quapple running in the 6th position in behind him. Fresh off a scary wreck this past Saturday at Kansas. Obviously, just okay. You'll see here Quapple with the 9 on the door of his race car. He's listed as the number 5 in timing and scoring. Meanwhile, Zach Millett makes the move and takes the lead away from Brian McCann. Looks like Adam Benefiel is going to go with him. So Zach Millett back to the race lead. He led the very first lap. Quickly, Brian McCann retook it. Not going to be the case now as Brian battling with the 0 of Adam Benefiel, listed as the 32 in the timing tower. Millett goes down the bottom of the track, tries to provide some draft there to Benefiel. Still those top 4 with some distance back to 5th place, Jonathan Cofield. Little separation from those drivers, Cofield, Quapple, Turzak, and Sweeting back to Austin Beers. So everybody getting grouped up here at Michigan Speedway. Jason Nilgis right behind the 64 of Austin Beers as we see Dale Jr. now up another spot to 11th. Don't sleep on Jr. here. Michigan Speedway, definitely one of his better tracks. You always think the super speedways like Daytona, Talladega with Jr., of course, but definitely does well on these big 2-mile ovals like Michigan. Pretty good track position at this stage in the 11th spot. 14 laps in of 125, so plenty of racing to go for the driver, the number 8. Checking on TJ Majors here. He's back in the 40th position, credited with, I think it was 21st starting position here tonight. I don't believe TJ had a problem on the start. There may have been some talk of a penalty from last week. Last lap for TJ was about a 41.44. Leaders are running just about the same. Millett a 41.38, Benefiel a 41, Durbin a 40, Brian McCann ran a 41.60. TJ just might be in the back here, biding his time. Kind of using some super speedway style strategy. Stay out of the mess. Take care of the race car till the end, as he does take a spot from Butler here, and he does it with authority. Field settling into a run here, 16 laps in. Not a whole lot going on the racetrack, just kind of logging laps at this point. Some jockeying for position. Carson Quapple, though, to the inside on Kyle Turzak into 3. I don't know if Turzak didn't see him right away. It looked like he was trying to turn down. Then at the last second, saw the 9 there to his left door. Quapple takes the spot. Austin Beers real loose off turn number 4. Everybody scrambling. Close call. You know, we talked about track temperature being almost 120 degrees at the drop of the green flag, and more contact with Austin Beers and now Turzak. Turzak gets right into the back of Austin Beers. I don't think the contact was intentional by the 64 at all, but looks like Turzak took exception to it. Now opens the door. Austin Beers in the middle. Nilgis will take advantage, and Dale Jr. is going to go around the outside with Garrett Johnston trying to do the same. So Beers going to lose a few spots out of this. Meanwhile, Chuck Sweeting all over the back of Turzak. I don't know if something happened or if these guys are just losing the handle. Now Sweeting very loose off turn number 4. 3 wide again with Dale Jr. in the middle. Jr. now into the top 10, but things are getting a little hairy here in the bottom half of the top 10. Millett continues to lead Benefiel, McCann, Durbin, and Cofield. Started with Quapple making a move for position. I think it was on Turzak, but now things kind of getting a little crazy here. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Taking a look at the weather again, it's only 77 degrees here today, but clear skies. Sun high in the sky, nothing to blanket the racetrack in shade, so it's clearly getting a little warm. Try to get you some more detailed weather on the right. Track temperature has come up just a touch, right at 120 degrees. So handling becoming a premium here as these tires continue to wear. Cole Ansley in the chat says, a lot of not appreciating going around. I don't know if it's that. It could be some of that, but at the same time, Cole, again, high track temperatures, tires starting to wear. This league, typically we don't see as high a track temperature as we are right now. A lot of the races actually do run under the light, so this could be a bit of adjustment in this B car for many of these drivers. So far, so good, though. Knock on wood, no cautions. Wasn't for a lack of trying, though. We were awful close a couple of times. Kyle just makes a move here. Terzak up the racetrack in the 56. Oh, Terzak real loose again. Rear end stepping out. Junior with a real late exit. Really exiting low on the racetrack, at least out of turn 4. I want to see how he gets out of 2 this time. Now he's got Niall just on the bottom there with Austin Beers with a run, so that's going to change it either way. Does look like he's trying to arc the corner a little bit. So Niall just in the 88, Junior in the 8, Austin Beers in the 64, Kyle Terzak just ahead of these three. Garrett Johnston there in the gray and green, and then Chuck Sweeting in the 75. Steve Luttrell in the 82. Oh, Beers up the racetrack. Junior getting a little bit loose. Now just going to sweep down to the bottom on Terzak here, trying to take a spot. Terzak's got 7th. Niall just wants to steal it. Maybe a battle for the lead here, too. Adam Benefield closing into Zach Millett. Less than a 10th between the top 2. Brian McCann there waiting for an opportunity to take all those back. Meanwhile, McCann switches lanes, puts it to the top, gets a nose alongside of Benefield. Niall just still fighting with Kyle Terzak for that 7th spot. Hasn't been able to complete the pass just yet. So we're going to ride on board here with Dale Earnhardt Jr. No, Garrett Johnston in trouble through the grass, but he straightens it out and we stay green. Garrett Johnston having a moment off turn number 4, is able to hang on to it. We'll go back quickly and look. Up the racetrack, a little wiggle, gets into the fence, straightens it out. Wow, what a job. Nicely done. So now we'll go on board with Dale Jr. has a moment with Austin Beers. Zach Millett continues to lead over Adam Benefield and Brian McCann. These three, at least for the time being, seem content settling in their positions until the first round of green flag stops, or potentially a caution flag. Knock on wood, still have yet to have one, which is actually rather impressive with the way some of these guys have been running, handling a premium tonight. Dale Jr., Austin Beers side by side. Austin finally working his way back towards the front. Lost some ground there for a while as Jr. way up the racetrack. Don't know if he just missed the entry or if he's trying to build a run down the backstretch to battle against Austin. Wasn't able to do anything there. Now Chuck Sweeting putting pressure on. Jr. back to 10th. Beers to 9th. Terzak just ahead of him in 8th. Deeper in the field here, we'll check on Chris Wally. Wally back in the 30th position with Tim Schofield in tow. Further down, Shane Huffman back in the 32nd spot. Christopher Harrison 33rd in the 71, and then Doug Wysocki 34th. Chris Quick behind him in the number 4 machine. Update from Buffalo. If you're a Sabres fan, it's not good news. Just started the third period, and it's 4-0 Boston. Meanwhile, impressed here with Carson Kvapil. Started 8th. You saw him deep in this battle here behind him now, but he's put some distance on Terzak, Beers, and Nilgis. Quite a bit of distance, actually. We're talking bus lengths, not car lengths. About 1.2 seconds back to Terzak, and it seems like he's running down Steve Durbin. Durbin there in the 5th position. Not quite ready for fuel stops yet with an 80% fuel load. Not sure what the actual lap window is supposed to be here tonight, but a heavier load of fuel than what we typically would see here at Track Limits Network. And the battles continue. Terzak, Nilgis, Beers, and Jr. 3 wide into turn number 3. Jr. lets off just a bit. Beers will take the advantage up through the corner in front of Kyle Terzak. Nilgis still thinking about sending it up the gut as Carson Kvapil coming to pit lane. Brian McCann will do the same, so maybe I stand corrected. 32 laps, about the fuel window on an 80% load. Again, a bigger racetrack at 2 miles, so I guess it adds up. Your pit strategies for everybody. 31 laps under green so far. Right side tire change for the 9 of Carson Kvapil. IROC vodka ablaze on the Chevrolet. If anybody's going to the Glen here in May and you're coming up from the south, help us out. We're looking for some, well, we can get the IROC, but we need some sun drop. Help us out. Wally, I know you can get your hands on it. I think he'll be at the Glen. Help us out here. Meanwhile, Zach Millett from the race lead. He'll come down and pit along with Adam Benefield. He went 1 extra lap. McCann and Kvapil came down. It appears to be the first 2 drivers to make their stops. Durbin as well. Cofield has inherited the lead with Beers now to 2nd. Now Dale Jr., Jason Nilgis, Mike Koch, Christian Strader. So green flag pit stops well underway here at MIS. Austin Beers now your new leader. Turzak to second. Junior down and away, 14.75 the stop for the 8. Not too shabby. Now Austin Beers and Chuck Sweeting. Beers locks him up. High-speed pit entry is not something that Austin's really accustomed to doing. Typically running a NASCAR Tour modified. Yes, they do have pit stops. They're not going from 195 miles an hour down to 55 very often. Ooh, overshoots the pit box, so a costly entry to pit road and the pit box for Austin Beers. He's going to lose some time here. Early enough to make it up. And Kyle Turzak from the race lead now on pit road. Turzak down and away. 15.50, not a great stop for Turzak. You look at stop at Dale Jr. was a 75. I think Adam Pettit was a 67. Very quick pit stops for those guys. Then it's track position to be gained. Through that cycle, it's moved Brian McCann back to the race lead here. Remember, he sat on pole position tonight. He's got 1.6 seconds on Zach Millett. So that one extra lap that they stayed out while McCann and Quapple came down. Now Quapple jumped up to fourth. That was all the difference. A little bit of an undercut. So we'll recap the top 10 here. Brian McCann, your race leader after the pit stops are completed. Looks like everybody has done that here under green. Zach Millett running in second. Then it's Adam Benefiel in third. Carson Quapple gained a spot or two in that cycle as well, up to fourth. Jonathan Cofield in P5. Steve Durbin back to sixth. He lost some ground. Garrett Johnston seventh. Dale Earnhardt Jr. gained a couple of spots in his pit cycle. A very quick stop for the 8. He runs 8th. Ninth is Chuck Sweeting there just behind him. Austin Beers, who did not have a great pit entry and not a great box entry, comes out still in the 10th spot. So work to do, but not all is lost. Kyle Turzak back to 11th. Adam Pettit 12th. 13th Jesse Sperling. Right there in behind Pettit, Mike Koch. Few car lengths back in 14th, and Stephen Luttrell in the 15th spot. McCann still enjoying a pretty healthy margin back to Zach Millett and Adam Benefiel. These two may end up working together. Drivers coming in from Team Conti. They'll work together until the other one can take advantage of the other. And it comes down to if they're 1 and 2, I think it's every man for themselves to try and get that win. Checking on TJ Majors, up 5 positions now. He had a really quick pit stop also. It came down lap 34, 14.73, a little bit quicker than Dale Jr. Change of position here. Chris Wally and Chris Quick side by side as the 61 of William Tyndall goes around to the bottom. Chris Quick checks up, leaves some room. Josh Mears is going to come through. All of a sudden, it's busy. Back just outside the top 30. Chris Wally shown in the 31st position. Here's there in behind him. Then Chris Quick and Christopher Harrison, 33rd, 34th. But TJ Major is closing in on this group as well. Majors picks up a couple in one fall swoop. TJ to 33rd now, picking them off a little bit at a time. Meanwhile, McCann still with the lead with that deficit shrinking. It's now down to about 6/10 back to Zach Millett and Adam Benefield. Deficit shrinking ever still, now under half a second. Man, nobody in sight really for about half a straightaway until you get back to Jonathan Cofield in 4th. Not sure if Kyle Turzak had some trouble getting a long pit stop, 15.50 for the number 56. He was right up there in that top 5. He's fallen now back to the 9th position. Back around Dale Jr., Chuck Sweeting, and Austin Beers. Some tough customers in that group of 4. Positions keep changing up quite a bit. Turzak now to the 8th position, Sweeting 9th, Beers 10th, Junior 11th. Majors continuing to march forward now to the 31st spot. I think he might have decided to run that first length out under a tank of fuel just to see what the car was going to give him, see what the track conditions were going to be like, but he is on a tear now, working his way methodically through the field. Take another look here at the weather. Track temperature still hovering around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. James Connolly in the 61, just ahead of Kyle Pendergraft. This is just outside the top 25. Is Shane Huffman now in the 25th spot, and he's got company though. Connolly looks to the inside here on Huffman. Cross start finish. They roll down into turn number 1. The battle for the race lead is on. Zach Millett off turn number 4. He gets a nose alongside McCann. Has the run down to the line. Going to lead this lap, but still not quite clear of McCann. He's got Benefield in tow. Down into one, Millett now clear. It looks like Benefield may chase him through. So very similar to what we saw in the early running of this race. McCann quick out of the gate on fresh tires, but slowly falls off just ever so slightly. Millett took the top spot away, and Benefield followed Zach on through, so it moves McCann from the lead to third. So we'll take another look here at the pit strategies and who pit and when. Millett went 32 laps on that first run. Benefield did the same. McCann was a lap sooner. Cofield a lap later. Steve Durbin was 32, Quapple 31. Turzak went quite a ways, 35 laps. So that also might be the reason why he lost so much ground to the leaders, being out there on old tires versus new. Fast lap of the race, at least for Zach Millett, our leader, was 39.79. His last lap was a 41.59. So we're looking at a considerable amount of fall off. That might be where all that ground Turzak lost. Sweeting, 34 laps. Johnston, 32. And Austin Beers also 34. So some varying strategies here. I don't think it's necessarily about fuel, at least not just yet. We have yet to have a caution flag. But tires definitely making a difference here at Michigan Speedway with that much fall off. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of this one plays out with that strategy. I think the next time, if we get these pit stops under green, somebody decides to come down and undercut, I think that's going to draw everybody else down almost right away. We'll see. Maybe they got something else up their sleeve. Maybe they want to try and make this a fuel mileage race, but time will tell. Meanwhile, just outside the top 10, Dale Earnhardt Jr. now to the 11th position. Kind of saw this a little bit in the earlier run. Jr. was just kind of slowly picking off positions one at a time here and there when it worked. Later in the run, he seemed to come alive as the tires wore out. They got hot, slippery, greasy. Started to make up some positions. See if that changes things here as this run gets a little bit deeper into things. Garrett Johnston in the 9th position. The number 15 machine. He's up 10 spots from the drop of the green flag, but I want to give a call here to Adam Pettit. He's running in the 12th position. He's gained 19 spots since this one got underway. So a great run so far for the 49. Meanwhile, change for the lead. Adam Benefield now to the top spot. Take a look at it here just a moment ago. Off turn 4, Benefield gets to the inside of Millett. Millett doesn't run him down the racetrack. Just kind of lets the 0 go on by to take the position. Millett able to hang on to second. So leaders starting to run into a little bit of lap traffic. I think that was Todd Kleek in the 45 going a lap down to the leaders. Zachary Kleek just across start finish. He would be the next one to go down a lap. And here are the leaders now to start finish. So there's a ways to go before he has to be too concerned. Carson Quapple running down Chuck Sweeting and Kyle Turzak. And the caution is out.
Do you need anything to drink or anything like
I think
that?
Steven Steffens could be in trouble here. Tim Schofield getting a piece of it also. Big time damage on the 12. Tore up from the floor up for Timmy Schofield. Steven Steffens, I thought, was involved in it, but I don't really see any damage on the 21. Let's go take a look. Oh, Schofield, I think this is a connection issue. Oh, goes up on his lid. Big time crash for the 12. Oh, man. I know it's a sim, but you just imagine it really being the case and just how hard of a hit that would have been. Going to rewind it here and see what really triggered this. Did he just have a connection issue? Yeah, something's amiss there. I don't know if he lost his screens or complete wheel disconnect. Car just came off turn 2 and kept on going. I don't know if Steffens was involved in this either. It doesn't appear to be the case. So 55 laps in, pit road is open, and just about everybody's going to come down here and take service. So Millett, McCann, Cofield, Durbin, Benefiel, and company, pretty much all the lead lap cars on pit lane. Millett might have won the race off. I don't know, maybe it was Benefiel. It was close. Like it just might have been Adam Benefiel leading the race off pit road. And it's Zach Millett, Brian McCann, Cofield, and Turzak gaining some ground. Lightning fast pit stop for Zach Millett, 14.32 seconds. Fastest one of the night, at least for 4 tires. Well, let's recap the race here. 57 laps of 125. Adam Benefiel, your race leader. We've had 1 caution now for 2 laps, about to make it 3, and 8 lead changes. It hasn't seemed like that much, but they've been out there. Big racetrack here at Michigan, 2 miles. We've had a very long, extended run of green flag racing. 50-some laps to this point. First caution of the night. So now we'll see how this sets us up. We've bunched the field back up, getting ready for the restart. We're on the 1 to go, so the next time by, we'll be back racing. Benefield on the front row, ready for the restart. So roll through turn 4. The pace car heads to pit lane. Barney with the green in hand, ready for our first restart of the race. Into the restart zone, and there it is. Green flag is in the air. Adam Benefield gets the early advantage. Big wiggle there on a Zach Millett in that second lane, with Turzak now pressuring to the inside. Kyle's not waiting for nothing. He's going to fire off very well here with a run down the backstretch. Cofield's going to tuck in behind, give him a little assist down the backstretch. Oh, Turzak slides up the track, gets into Millett, maybe a little bit of contact. It was very close. Big wiggle there out of the 56, up the track again. Benefield switching lanes, trying to break the draft off Brian McCann, as we've got 60 laps now up on the board here at Michigan. Not even quite halfway. Turzak fired out of a cannon here, taking full advantage of that pace as Cofield switches up again. A big run himself, makes it 3 wide. Going to get 2 for 1, or if he can get clear into turn number 3. Not quite. Slides up there. Turzak pinches him down. They're 3 wide for a moment as Cofield can't keep up the pace. Back to the stripe. Benefield continues to lead it. McCann second. Now Zach Millett with a run to the inside. Turzak trying to decide which way he wants to go. And Carson Quapple with a run down into turns 1 and 2. Well, the caution did exactly what we had hoped. A little bit of contact here further back in the pack. I think it might have been TJ Majors trading paint with James Connolly. TJ was a little out of shape on corner exit, but appears no harm, no foul. And with all that said, TJ running in the 14th spot, and we are still not quite halfway. TJ not out of this. He's got a shot. I cannot wait to see when he catches the 31 of Zach Millett. And Connolly almost goes around, but he saves it. Connolly got run into, but hangs on to the race car. He's just going to lose a bunch of spots here. Still trying to get back up to speed. Driver's still trying to scatter left and right of the number 61. Connolly now back to 23rd before he gets back into turns 3 and 4. Wow, these guys have their hands full. 3 wide off turn 4. As my dad used to say, hocus muck. I don't know why he said it that way. That's just how he said it. Drank a lot of beer. Benefield leads it into turn 3. McCann and Millett, second, third. Carson Quapple now to the 4th spot. Slowly but surely, Quapple hunting the front. He'll be a contender here before you know it. The gaggle of cars back here with Chuck Sweeting, Jason Nile just side by side. Adam Pettit, Austin Beers, TJ Majors, Steve Durbin, some heavy hitters there. Chuck came down there, didn't realize there were 3 wide, I think. Shot back up the racetrack, still 3 wide with Beers in the middle. TJ might shove it up the gut himself. There's still 3 wide, gets into the back of Beers, shoves him along. Beers now to the low side of the racetrack. TJ Majors now to 12th, trying to take the 10th spot from Austin Beers. "65 laps complete, just past halfway here at Michigan Speedway. We're going to step aside, get our track limit side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. You won't miss a moment. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Michigan Speedway, the Charity Motorsports 250. We never posted this up here tonight. Courtesy of Chris Wally in the IROC Challenge Series, the Charity Motorsports 250. Past halfway, Adam Benefield continuing to lead over Brian McCann, Zach Millett, Carson Quapple, and Garrett Johnston. Further down the line, Kyle Terzak, P6. Dale Jr. still quietly working his way forward into the 7th spot. Austin Beers is 8th, Jason Nile just 9th. TJ Majors now just cracking the top 10. Cole Ansley in the chat says, I don't know what TJ is drinking, but I want some. He's got a fire lit under him tonight. I think it's the fact that the 31 is in front of him right now. I think that is the drink of choice for TJ Majors. They've had a couple of run-ins the last couple of races, and there is a pretty healthy rivalry that has begun between these two. So keep a close eye, especially when the 6 finally gets to the back bumper of the 31. There could be some more fireworks. I'm not promising that, but it could happen. Benefield so smooth out in front now, puts it to 4/10 over Brian McCann. Last lap at 39.70. McCann was quicker the last time by. We'll see if that changes this time across the stripe. Back across the line, Benefield locks in his lap. It's a 41.37. McCann faster still, but not by as much this time. It's a 41.35. Millett, a couple of hundred slower as well. Faster as well. So right now, the faster two are second and third over Adam Benefield, but it's marginal. Also, Benefield doesn't have the advantage of the draft that he's dumping out behind him for McCann and Millett. Colt says, Millett pissed somebody off? Never. If you take out the fact that he used to win all the time, yes, that can be frustrating, but I've known Millett personally for quite some time. He'll never race you dirty on purpose. Yes, things happen. That's racing. But either way, these guys have found each other on the racetrack a bunch of times this season, and I'll take the drama. It is certainly entertaining. This is kind of one of the reasons I've been asking over and over for Millett to come over here and run in the IROC series. There's actually a lot of talent over here as Chuck Sweeting gets roughed up by Adam Pettit. 75 got crossed up off turn 4, I think with a little bit of help from the 49. Hangs on to it. Now Steve Durbin works to the inside with Adam Pettit. Benefield stretching his lead over McCann now to half second. Keep jumping around here, trying to find some battles out on the racetrack. This one just won't end. It's Steve Durbin and Chuck Sweeting as Durbin now settles in behind the 75. Further down the line, Luttrell side by side with Steven Steffen. Carson Kvapil no longer gaining quite as much ground, at least on the leaders. It was about 1.1 a couple of laps ago. Now it's 1.3, but Zach Millett now coming back to the 9. So there may be a battle between these two momentarily. Another driver falling back ever so slightly. Dale Jr. now to the 10th spot as Nile just takes it away. Jr. was up as high as 7th. TJ Majors in the rearview mirror, still in the 10th spot ahead of Adam Pettit. They've been on the green here for the last 21 laps. Again, we had a caution, our only caution of the afternoon. Looking to be about 10, 12 laps away here from another round of green flag stops if we can stay under the green flag. So Colt Ansley says, I like Millett the person. I hate racing Millett the driver. I'm just not good enough. Well, you can hold your own. I think if you put you and Millett on a short track and maybe a super late or a late model stock, that could change some things. It's not his forte. It's certainly going to be fast either way, but these bigger intermediate tracks, kind of his bread and butter. Obviously, road courses he's excelling at as well, but all you guys, at least over the PSRA, definitely have improved considerably over the years. And it just continues to do that now that you've gone to open setups. It's been a blast to watch those on Sundays. Again, I know I've mentioned it a couple of times. PSRA Open ARCA Series now transitioning to the PSRA Open Truck Series. I believe that season's starting off here in June. We'll post the official schedule once it becomes available. Pettit now under fire from John Cofield. Cofield was a top 5 runner here in the early stages of this race. Somehow or another has found himself just outside the top 10. Update from Buffalo. After 3 or 4 pretty significant brawls between the Bruins and the Sabres, it's now 4-2. 4-2 Boston, I'm sorry. 450 left in the third. I don't know if we're going to get 2 games in a row here with a late comeback from the Sabres, but as much as I'd love that you're watching Track Limits Network here in the IROC Challenge Series, maybe you pull it up on a second screen and watch them both. Adam Benefield on cruise control in this run. Cole Ansley in the chat says, IROC and 0X, 2 series I tune into. Good stuff from both you and them. Speaking of 0X, they're coming back. They're running actually right now. A little bit of a snafu as far as the scheduling was concerned for this season between IROC and 0X. Nobody's fault but mine. But either way, 0X still sticking with us here at Track Limits through some negotiations. We're going to be running all of their races this season on a tape delay on Wednesday night. So that race will be aired in its entirety tomorrow evening. Their first race of the season. I think they have 39 drivers ready to take the green flag here tonight for tomorrow's broadcast. So tune in for it. Daytona International Speedway, the first race of the season, the 0X Strategy Series, and there will be strategy to be had. So tune in for that tomorrow evening. Brian McCann scrapes the wall off turn number 4. Adam Benefield just lights out right now. McCann was a tick faster the previous lap. We'll see if that's the same this time. No, a little bit slower, but not by a lot considering he got into the wall. Benefield ran a 41.78. McCann ran an 80. Chuck Sweeting in a fight once again. Adam Pettit, Cofield in the mix there as well. TJ Majors really has not marched closer to the front since taking over the 10th position. Might be another opportunity here coming up shortly for pit stops for TJ to come down, take another set of tires, get back out, and try to see what he can do. Maybe an opportunity for an undercut here. We've only had 1 caution tonight. Statistically, mathematically, TJ could pull the undercut here, cross his fingers for another caution later on in that run. Pettit now alongside Sweeting. Gets real loose up the racetrack. Has to check up. Does not get into the 75, but now Cofield has to take evasive action. He'll get to the inside of the 49 machine. It's been 29 laps. A couple of laps away, we should start seeing some more green flag stops. Still not quite enough to get us to the end of this race on fuel, so you know these drivers are going to stretch it as far as they can. Chris Quick there in the bottom, the red and white number 4, not on the lead lap. Steve Durbin very loose off turn number 2, straightens it out. I believe Chris Quick is out there on some fresher tires. He starts to knife his way back through this lead lap portion of the field. 34 cars still on the lead lap here after 88 laps complete from Michigan Speedway. Adam Benefield continues to lead, but look who is closing the gap. It's down less than 2/10 to Brian McCann. Brian has taken the time, now running down Adam Benefield at the latter stages of this run. They're still going to have to come to pit road here relatively soon, but Brian may have something figured out here. The question is going to be, after this one pit stop, how long do you wait once you're into that window to make one more? You're obviously going to take tires this pit stop, but how do you plan it on the next one? Do you go 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires? Because there's not going to be that long of a run to the finish if we run green all the way to the end. We're coming to lap 90 the next time by. That gives us 35 laps to the finish. Some guys might be trying to stretch it here with some fuel savings. Thinking back here, I think some drivers did go as far as 35 laps. In fact, yes, Kyle Turzak made it 35 laps on that first stint. Austin Beers went 34, so they can stretch the fuel economy a little bit further. They just might have enough to make it to the end. So quickly, this race has gone from a tire strategy to now maybe a fuel strategy type race with 36 laps to go. So now they're at the point where they might be able to make it to the end if they make one more stop. Some of these drivers have saved enough. Zach Millett, I don't believe, has. In fact, here he is. He's on pit road. No, he has saved enough, but if we get a green-white-checkered, he's going to be in trouble. So he might be able to save it. We've seen him time and time again, able to stretch the fuel a lot longer than most. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on pit road. So here they come. Pit road is open. Final round of green flag stops for just about everybody. Turzak now with the lead. Majors now up to second. He has saved a bunch of fuel. Carson Kvapil, Austin Beers taking on 4 tires and fuel. So they'll all head back out. So Nilgis, Kvapil, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. will line up in a row on exit. Chuck Sweeting will take over the race lead as Kyle Turzak comes in. Durbin almost goes around entering pit lane. Turzak also going to go 4 tires and fuel, just plenty of fuel. Going to pack that thing full to make it to the end. Sweeting still out there. Here he comes. Chuck Sweeting went 36 laps on his tank. So did Sperling. So did Turzak. Turzak really stretching the field. These guys really went the distance on this full load tonight. So the last 2 drivers to make their green flag stops here is Chuck Sweeting and Jesse Sperling. So through that cycle, Adam Benefield back to the race lead, but Zach Millett leapfrogs over Brian McCann and takes the second spot. We got FCR Timmy Yo 5603. Can't it just be like Tim? He says in the chat, Millet's like the Magic Man when it comes down to making a nail-biter strategy work. The Magic Man. Shake and bake, baby. "31 laps to go here for Michigan Speedway. One caution only so far. We'll take a look here at our race recap. 95 of 125. Adam Benefiel still leads. We've had one caution for 3 laps and 11 lead changes. Will we see another one before this one is over? Millet now under pressure from Brian McCann for the second spot. Ooh, real close quarters. Takes the air off the back spoiler there of Brian McCann. Almost takes him around. Brian will settle in tow there with Zach Millet again now in third. Have to set him up for another pass. Meanwhile, Benefiel stretching his lead to 0.4 of a second over the 31. TJ Major is still running in the 10th spot. Jason Nilgis, Dale Jr., 9th and 10th. .28 laps to go here for Michigan Speedway. Adam Benefiel has really dominated the last 2/3 of this race. Don't know if Millet's got anything for him. Zach's pit stop coming at lap 90, Benefiel lap 91. Much as I hate to say it, a caution here would kind of be nice. We've had a really strong run here of green flag racing. But man, did we have a hell of a restart and a lot of action right after that with that last caution, the only one that we've had. And just about everybody still with an extra set of tires laying over the pit wall. So that could create some question marks for a lot of these drivers. Do you pull down to pit lane to take the tires for that advantage, or do you maintain track position? Either way, we need the yellow before we have to even think about that. Leaders working through some lap traffic. Nine of William Reams, giving the leaders plenty of space. So 25 to go here for Michigan. It's about to be a fight between Nilgis and Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the 8th position. Jr. with a run off turn number 2. TJ Majors there in 10th. Chuck Sweeting behind him. Final score from Buffalo, Boston 4, Sabres 2, series tied 1 apiece. Haven't talked about Christian Strader much here tonight. Had a good run in qualifying, but he's lost 12 spots, running in the 15th position. Just hasn't really been able to recoup it. Adam Pettit, however, he's 16th right now. He's gained 15 positions. Started back at 31st. Strong run for the 49. The biggest mover on the night so far, Josh Mears. Started 39th. He's up to 19th. Meanwhile, change of the second spot here. Brian McCann has taken it from Zach Millett finally. Millett losing a lot of ground here. I don't think this was related to lap traffic. I'm going to see if we can find this. Show you a quick replay of it. In fact, here it is. McCann had the run off turn number 2. Carries it down the straightaway into 3. Takes the spot. William Reams all over the back bumper of Zach Millett there. Not sure the situation there. He's a lap down. Maybe just trying to pull the draft off the 31. Millett up the racetrack, just running his line here. I think Millett's kind of resided himself to that third spot here. Battle for position here. Austin Beers, Garrett Johnston. Johnston a little loose on the exit of turn number 2. Majors, though, has gained some ground now up into the 8th position. Ooh, Carson Quapple hanging the right rear out off turn number 2. Chuck Sweeting now making a move to the inside of Jason Nilgis. This is for position. May have taken advantage of the 11 being a lap down here. That's Zachary Kleek. Maybe used him as a pick, but Dale Jr. now all over the back bumper, and Nilgis slides up the racetrack in front of the 11. Niles still working on Chuck Sweeting here. This all happening in the rearview mirror of TJ Majors. Majors credited with starting 21st here tonight, but I believe ended up going to the back for a penalty from last week. I'll have to clarify on the rules, but in the brief skimming that I did in the Discord server tonight, I believe his penalty was for bringing out a caution within the last 10 laps of the race. That's an unofficial response out of me here at Track Limits. I have not confirmed that with race officials, but that's at least how I've understood it to this point. "16 laps to go. Benefield continues to log laps. Stretches advantage over Brian McCann. It's over half a second now. Now, keeping in mind here, remember at the end of the last green flag run, McCann was running Benefield down and is applying pressure at that point, trying to take the spot away just prior to the pit stops. If this runs all the way green to the end, that should, if everything remains the same and if both drivers were pushing as hard as they could at that point in time, it should put McCann to the back bumper of Benefield in the closing laps here. So we may still have a battle on our hands to see who's going to lock this up. You don't take the hats to victory lane until the checkered flag waves, and that's why, because anything could happen. McCann faster by a 10th over Adam Benefield the last time by. And you see it, the deficit shrinking now to 0.4 of a second and under. William Reams in the number 9 machine, shown 37th, but able to hang with Zach Millett here. Zachary Cleek will come to pit lane. Austin Beers separating himself from that group behind him. TJ Majors, Nilgis, Chuck Sweeting, and Dale Jr. Just as soon as McCann chops a 10th off the deficit, he loses another 10th. Now it's just under half a second. Laps winding down, 13 to go here for Michigan. Before we get too far away from things, we haven't thanked the sponsors here tonight. Puts on this IROC Challenge Series, Internet Racing Oval Championship, Fast Laps, Open Hearts, Coles County Speedway, R&R Racewear, Meff's Shirt Shop, Johnston Timbers, LLC. I'll get that one right eventually. 3 Wide with DJG, Charity Motorsports, and Care for Kids. Benefield about a 0.5 quicker than McCann the last time. So I just don't think Brian's got enough pace right now unless something changes considerably in the next 5 to 10 laps. This one really just could belong to Adam Benefield. Now, again, a caution would certainly change a lot about this one. We see it every week on Sundays and the actual NASCAR Cup Series. We saw it this past weekend with the yellows coming out. Maybe we'll see it here tonight. You never know. Not saying I'm wishing that to happen. It's just a storyline, folks. Majors to 7th now, takes the spot from Carson Quapple. Now the 11 at Cleek just made a pit stop, so he's going to rocket past these guys. A real good demonstration of what the difference in new and old tires is. I don't know if Adam Benefield's just playing games with McCann here. It's now 0.3 of a second back to the 3. Seems like as soon as Brian gets there, He loses all that ground and then makes it back up. Now, dirty air obviously going to come into play, especially with this B car. We've seen that a lot this season. That could be part of the issue here. Or it just could be Benefiel easing up a little bit, taking care of his stuff, making sure he's got enough for at the end. If Brian does happen to mount a charge here late, can Benefiel hold him off? Well, that's what he's thinking about right now behind the wheel, that number 0 machine. Less than 10 to go now. Eight laps remain. It's Benefiel, McCann, Millett, and Terzak. Garrett Johnston now to the 5th position. Austin Beers, P6, not too far off the back bumper of the 15. Dale Jr. trying to fend off Jason Nilgis, just inches to spare. Nilgis swaps over now to the low side of the racetrack. This is a battle for position. It'd be the 9th spot. Junior's fallen off just a touch here in the latter stages of this run. These three drivers, though, Junior, Nilgis, and Sweeting, have been battling each other all race long. And doing it cleanly, I might add. Back to the race lead. Adam Benefiel over McCann. McCann's got it to less than 2/10 now. 6 laps to go. Adam Benefiel with 2 wins on the season so far. McCann with none. Zach Millett, who runs 3rd, with 4. Wasn't until very late in last season that Brian McCann was able to park it in victory lane, but he did get there nonetheless. With 5 laps to go and lap traffic ahead, can he notch one in the win column here tonight at Michigan? Going to have to take advantage here of Adam Benefiel before this one is all said and done. Coming to 4 laps to go. Still lap traffic ahead. Now the 11 at Cleek there up on the leaders. Remember, he's got fresh tires. He's going to be quick. Kyle White is the next car in line for Zach Cleek to make a pass on for position. So you know he wants to get clear of these leaders. He doesn't want to interfere, but you see White goes to the bottom of the racetrack, maybe not realizing that the 11 is a position that he could lose here. Cleek made a pit stop at lap 110. Kyle White not since lap 90, so very quickly Cleek makes short work and takes that spot, moves Cleek up now to the 34th position.
Caution,
and a caution comes out here late in the race at Michigan. We've got a yellow.
Tell me what you got.
And I don't have a clue what it's for. I'm thinking maybe Chris Harrison. He's kind of slow all by himself, but I don't see any real evidence of a major issue on the track at all. If anybody in the chat happens to know, repeat, if you're there, let us know what's going on. I don't know if you're still listening. Well, we're going to guess. I'm literally guessing here. No, that's not Harrison. If anybody knows which vehicle was involved in this caution, iRacing did not send me any data on that particular incident whatsoever. The yellow just came out. But as we spoke, not too long ago, this opens us up for some decisions. Benefiel heads to pit lane, and he's going to stick with it. McCann, Millett, Turzak, Johnston, everybody going to come down for tires. And this may send us to overtime here. This is lap 123 on the board. I don't think we're going to go back green before this one goes to extra innings. So we're going to go to our first attempt at the green-white-checkered finish, I believe. Here from Michigan. Benefiel in his pit box. In there clean. 4-tire change for the 0. Drops the jack. 14:55. Benefiel down and away. Lightning fast stop. Could be the winning pit stop. But Garrett Johnston takes right sides only and will win the race off of pit road. DRS Whiskey says, didn't see anything to see what caused the caution, so just as confused as you. We got Lou Hoyt says, debris yellow. I don't know if that's such a thing in iRacing. I know they do have a live admin. I don't know what the scenario is there. I'm going to see if I can find that live admin and maybe ask him if he could tell us what the yellow was for. And no, I cannot find him. Well, let me see if I can find him. I'm going to keep looking. All right, well, I'm booth broadcaster and reporter, so I was able to talk to race control here. I think we may have figured this out. Let me see if I can go back and look at it. I'm going to do some scrolling here. I think it was with Jason Nilgis. We'll take a look. 88 and the 75 at Chuck Sweeting. Oh, there it is. There's our yellow. Wasn't much, but it was enough for iRacing to throw it. There you have it. Chuck Sweeting, Jason Nile just coming together. Just ever so slight contact, but that's all it takes. Man, in years past, the 75 would have been up on its roof. So, green-white-checkered attempt. Here's how it works. Green flag comes out after we've added some extra laps. If the yellow comes out before the leader takes the white flag, we'll line them up and we'll try it again. We will do that up to 3 times if necessary. If the leader takes the white, then the next flag will end it. Realistically, they're not going to throw the yellow. iRacing doesn't really do that on the final lap, so don't have to worry about it. Pace car is in, ready for our second restart. It's a green-white-checkered finish. Front row, Garrett Johnston and Adam Benefiel. Garrett's on right sides only. Here we go, down into turn number 1. Johnston with a race lead. Brian McCann now to the inside of Adam Benefiel. They both have 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles. Little bit of contact. Benefiel up the racetrack. 1 car in the wall. It's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Scrapes it on the back straightaway, straightens it out in front of Chuck Sweeting. Now Zach Millett makes it 3 wide into turn 3, 4 wide as Turzak tries to shove his nose in there as well. Johnston still with the race lead. Off turn number 4, looking for the white flag. Can he hold off Zach Millett and pick up the win? White flag is in the air. Final lap as they wreck across the start-finish line. We stay green. Hopefully they get clear. Johnston with the lead. Millett in second. Big wiggle out of the 15 off turn number 2. Millett takes advantage now to the inside, and Millett goes around off Terzak's nose. No, Benefiel and Millett. The 35 is in this as well. Austin Beers gets turned. Johnston maintains the race lead. Kyle Terzak now goes to the inside for the race lead and possibly the win here at Michigan Speedway. Off turn 4, coming down to the line. They're door banging side by side, coming down to the stripe, and it's a photo finish. Terzak wins it over Johnston and Connolly. Wow. Kyle Terzak, the short track ace, picking up the win at the 2-mile Michigan Speedway in a thrilling finish where teammates Zach Millett, Adam Benefiel come together on the backstretch and make hard impact. That was big. Kyle Terzak lighting it up here, parks it in victory lane in front of this sellout crowd here at Michigan Speedway. Wow is all I really have to say. Unbelievable finish to close this one out. Green-white checkers and a lot of wreckers. We're going to step aside here, get a break, catch our breath. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, Life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Michigan for the Charity Motorsports 250. Man, we had a lot of green flag runs here. Field really got stretched out. Couple of cautions, really spiced things up. And then a green-white-checkered finish to close this one out. You want to talk about spicy. This thing got crazy. Wrecking coming down to the white flag. Then a wreck there on the backstretch, taking out the teammates, Zach Millett, Adam Benefiel, and Kyle Terzak, Garrett Johnston's banging doors coming down to the line, and James Connolly trying to slip it in there and steal the win. He'll finish third, but Kyle Terzak emerging victorious. Let's see if we can get a word with the driver of the number 56, Kyle Terzak. Talk to our race winner. Kyle, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Kyle, congratulations, man. 13th place starting position. I know you're lights out fast on short tracks. 2 Mile Oval at Michigan, certainly a far cry from a short track, but you get it done here in thrilling fashion, green-white-checkered style, holding off Garrett Johnston, trading paint all the way down to the line. Man, walk us through those closing laps, especially that final restart. How'd you get it done?
Well, I don't even really know. On that green-white-checkered started 7th. I kind of messed up in qualifying, so I kind of had to dig out of a hole, and I got 4th. I thought I was content with staying 4th, get some points, even though I'm way behind, and had a lot of fun coming to the field, and went over my head with beers, but we'll get into that later. But that was just going to that green-white-checkered. I thought I could get a top 5 because I know some people took 2, and at first I thought it was going to work. Then I looked at my tires and I saw the left rear was like 79%, so I was kind of second guessing if that was going to work or not. And that restart was just crazy. Some people had 2 tires and some people had 4. We were 4 wide going down to 1, I think. And, all for 2, I just found myself clear, and I got up and I had a decent run. And then those 2 just, I don't know what happened right there, but, I feel like from what I saw a crazy block and they just went spinning. So that was tough. And then, I was behind Garrett. I didn't have a huge run, but I went down into 3, and I drove it so far deep, I can't even explain it. I was in his inside when I lifted off the gas. I jammed the brakes. I had a lot of rear brake in it, so jammed the brakes and it stuck somehow. And off 4, I knew it was going to be a drag race, so I was just holding him as tight as possible and not letting him side draft. And then someone was putting it 3 wide. It was James. That's who it was, and I thought he was going to get it for a second, but that was an eventful race.
Eventful race, a more so eventful finish. Again, you come out on top, getting that first win of the season as we're looking forward now. Charlotte Motor Speedway next week. In fact, before we get into Charlotte, track temperature is pretty high here tonight. Handling seemed to be a premium. Was that hot track really making a big difference, or was it all a aero issue than anything else?
Yeah, the track tip definitely played a part. I literally had, I don't know, maybe 40 laps of practice coming in here. Just got home from dinner and hopped in here. And since I'm a lack of experience in these cars, I kind of had to learn on the fly. And the track tip definitely did not help us. I killed the right rear a couple times, so that didn't help. And aero is just also a big deal. Outside, if you side draft someone on the outside, it was just so easy to get your spot back. But yeah.
Well, again, Charlotte next week, a different style racetrack. It's only a half mile shorter than this place, believe it or not, but it feels a whole lot faster, narrower racetrack, not as much room to work with. How do you prepare yourself to get it done? Maybe go 2 in a row next week.
got to put in the time, right? Like I said, I don't have really a lot of experience in these cars, and I gotta catch up to everybody else, right? So I gotta put in the time, put in the practice, and Charlotte, I actually have some experience there, not in the O'Reilly car. I actually have it in the truck, but I'm gonna take that knowledge from the truck, even though they're completely different. I'm gonna take what I can and try to go get 2 in a row.
All right, Kyle. Well, congrats on picking up the win, first of the season. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Chris for putting this on, you as well for the broadcast. I want to thank Arcade Sub Shop and eNexus Esports. I heard they got the top 2 splits in the qualifying series, so congratulations to them. I want to thank Hot Shot Photography, Best Iris and Photos. I want to thank Corey Bodie Raps, Matthew Designs for the real life stuff, Terzak Race on the Facebook, and everybody's watching back at home.
All right, Kyle. Thanks for talking to us. Congrats again, man. Good luck next week in the home race at Charlotte.
Thank you, Steve.
Kyle Terzak, race winner here at MIS. Next, we'll talk to Garrett Johnston. Put on 2 right sides on that final pit stop under caution that set us up for the green-white-checkered. It almost translated into a race win, but he'll have to settle for the second spot. Garrett Johnston at Steve at Track Limits. You got us?
Yep, I do.
Garrett, congrats, man. I know this one probably stings, but you gambled there at the end. Right side tires only on the final pit stop. We really thought you were going to have this one in the bag, but things all went to hell in a handbasket in those final couple of laps. It was close. You and Terzak banging doors all the way to the finish, man. What was it from your perspective, coming off turn 4 and then battling Kyle all the way to the finish?
Yeah, I mean, on 2 tires, I knew it was going to be tough. I mean, I tried to go low and block the run, but I just couldn't make a stick. The car was hard enough to drive at the end of the run, and then you got left side wear, and you slap 2 fresh rights on it, and it just gets even worse. So honestly, I was shocked to even come away with second. Obviously, a lot of stuff had to happen to to come to that conclusion, but I think saving 2 actually kept me out of the crap, and stayed out front for as long as I could, but can't complain with second. I had to try something different. Can't say it didn't pay off, because it definitely did.
Well, certainly been impressive this season, tonight included. You were up near the front quite a bit, even though you started back, I think, in the 19th position. Second place day after that, I'd say that's not too disappointing.
No, it's not. I can't complain at all. Had a really, really good stretch of runs here. Top 5s, pretty consistent all season, but it goes back to the old adage, always the bridesmaid and never the bride. So tonight I was yet again the maid of honor. So hopefully sometime this season I'll be able to talk to you first as a winner, but till then we'll keep trying.
Charlotte Motor Speedway next week, Garrett. Any chance we see you in white next week?
Oh, I mean, one can hope. I mean, I didn't expect to do nearly as good as I did tonight, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of Michigan, and I like Charlotte, so I'm a big fan of this car as well. Especially with all the changes they've made to it in recent updates and whatnot. So hopefully so.
All right, Garrett. Well, job well done here tonight, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
Yeah, thank you for doing the broadcast. It's always a great watch, and definitely one of the best broadcasts I have had the privilege of watching. Shout out to Chris Wally for putting the league on, and it's crazy and amazing how much it's grown. Definitely this year, couldn't do it without him. And shout out everyone watching, my wife, my dad, mom, grandma, aunt, etc. And thanks again.
All right, Garrett. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thanks, sir.
Garrett Johnston, runner-up here at MIS. I think that's all we're going to have. James Connolly, our third-place finisher, almost stole a win from these guys, but don't think we've got James available for comment. But either way, a strong run for him. He started back in 20th and worked his way through, kept defenders on that thing, and survived the chaos at the end of this race to finish in the 3rd spot. Some good momentum rolling into next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. With that said, that'll do it for our interview portion of tonight's broadcast. We're going to try and make the race results work. Let's see. And it works. It's been giving me troubles lately, but there you have it. We talked to our top 3. Kyle Terzak, Garrett Johnston, and James Connolly. 4th place went to Carson Quapple. Didn't see much out of Carson here tonight, but just one at a time here and there. Worked his way through, picks up a top 5. Brian McCann will finish in the 5th spot. And old TJ Majors had to go to the back. Works his way up to finish in the 6th spot, and he's got to be happy to see he finished ahead of Zach Millett here tonight. We didn't get to see those two come together this evening, but there's always next week. Steve Durbin was 7th, Christian Strader was 8th, Jason Nilgis 9th, Chris Mefford finishes out of the 10th spot. After that wreck with Adam Benefiel, Zach Millett finishes 11th, Doug Wysocki was 12th, Evan Vecchia was 13th, 14th place went to Chris Quick. Neil Quick finishes in the 15th spot. Kyle Hardy was 16th. 17th went to Chris Harrison. Adam Pettit was 18th. Adam Benefiel relegated to 19th after being so dominant here late. Austin Beers was 20th. He had a strong run tonight until then as well. 21st, Cameron Brownlow. Josh Mears finishes in the 22nd position. Mike Koch, 23rd. 24th, Kyle Pendergraph. Chuck Sweeting was 25th. Dale Jr. must have gotten caught up in that wreck also. He'll finish deep in the field in 26th. Slade Benish was 27th. Steven Steffen, 28th. Steve Luttrell, 29th. Chris Wally, 30th. 31st, John Cofield. Jesse Sperling, 32nd. 33rd, Devin Aker. 34th, Todd Kleek. William Reams, 35th. 36th was Zachary Kleek. 37th, Kyle White. 38th, Brent Butler. Shane Huffman was 39th. And 40th, last, Tim Schofield in the number 12. Marty Lindley, William Tyndall, Craig Bristol, Pete Ruzick, not part of the field tonight. Bristol in here as our race admin. That'll do it for us here at Michigan Speedway. Finally got another live broadcast under us. I know it. Just you guys all watch this thing. There were some long stretches of racing that wasn't all that exciting. Sometimes that happens. These big tracks can do that, especially when you have the talent level that we have in the IROC Challenge Series. They get spread out. We don't get a lot of cautions, and that was the case here tonight. We had 2 all night long, but the last one coming out at a very important time set us up for a green-white-checkered finish, and man, it certainly delivered. We had a good finish out of this one, so exciting at the very least. Got to thank you guys all for tuning in. Thanks for those in the stream chat. Thanks for watching here tonight. And join us next week here at Track Limits Network live at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And tune in tomorrow night if you're bored, you got time, you want to check out the Zero X Strategy Series here at Track Limits. We're starting the season off again at Daytona, 39-car field. I think we're running... I just had a total blank out of what car we're running. But either way, it's going to be fun. It's stock car racing. It'll be a blast here at Track Limits. Zero X Strategy Series at Daytona. Tune in tomorrow evening about 8:15 Eastern Time, and you shouldn't miss a thing. It is on a tape delay, but we're going to call it as if it's live, and they always put on an excellent show. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.